except for Johnny Herbert. He's running a softer one for some reason. It is a major problem with the wear on that outside left front tyre. It could have 1, 2 or 3 pit stops. I think we really favour 2 pit stops for the pit strategy. And of course, we'll have to wait and see just how that pans out. But I believe it'll probably be only 2 pit stops.
A lot of places to pass here.
Well, there is that obviously one coming down past the pitch at 190 miles an hour, and then you've got the bit down the little back chute where again they're pulling over 180 as they sweep down into L'Archaic. So it's quite a good opportunity. We've already got one of the arrows in the pits. That is not a very good sign at this stage of the game.
Pedro Diniz.
He will have to start from the back of the grid. Well, he was pretty well back there anyway, but it's still not nice to start there even if you start at all.
Formation lap complete. And the front of the grid looking familiar. 2 McLarens and then Schumacher. And that red Ferrari and the 2 Benettons.
I have to think here, of course, that Mika Häkkinen, if he gets a good start, is just going to disappear. But then, you know, stranger things have happened. Watch Schumacher. He's going to be determined to get in amongst those 2 McLarens in front. He's got to break them up.
3 points separate the 2 McLaren teammates, then Schumacher and his Ferrari teammate are behind. Getting set for the start of the Grand Prix of Spain.
Start. Even Eddie Irvine's ahead of him. Eddie's going to try and get past that Benetton. Is he going to make it 2 abreast round the corner? Let us see what happens. Who can tell? Eddie's still there. Bold Eddie. He's in front. Michael Schumacher droning around a little bit. Doesn't know where to go. Look at the group at the back.
Fisichella trying to fight off Schumacher, and a great start for Barrichello. Up to 7th from 9th. What a run for the Stewart.
Well, of course, there was such a schmozzle on the other side with Michael having a bad time. I think the Barrichello made capitalised on it. But what a great start there by Häkkinen, and of course Eddie Irvine. Now this is going to be intriguing because Eddie's in front of that Benetton and Michael's right behind. And there's no doubt that Benetton is going extremely well. Remember, the Benetton is on Bridgestone tyres and the Ferraris are on Goodyears. Somebody going very slowly at the back. I wonder why that was, or whether it's the arrows that managed to get on the grid and is going around just to get started, to say he started the race but collected start money, as we say.
And look at the gap that already the 2 McLarens have opened up, and we've not yet completed a lap.
No, Eddie Irvine is obviously holding that lot up to start with, but who knows? You see also what strategies they're running, whether some are running fuller tanks than others for a 1-stop or a 2-stop strategy. The Benetton looking like it's all over the back of Eddie Irvine. One of the Williams there actually in a better position than I expected it to be. I get the impression that there is only one Williams there, but maybe it's a lot further back than I think. The other Williams car. They had a dismal time, as you well know. Häkkinen already got 1.8 seconds on the first lap. That is outstanding. I knew he'd get a good lead, but not quite that much straight away. But the Flying Finn is on a roll, and he wants to see that he's world champion. He knows he can do it. He used to beat Michael Schumacher in kart racing, or should I say in go-kart racing. He beat all these guys. He knows he's the best in the world. He can do it. But of course, he's got to keep his head and use some of that experience to the full.
And you know, good for Eddie Irvine, who's posted 3rd. Gained 3 points, or rather 3 positions from the start. Irvine said this week he lashed out and he says, I don't care what anyone thinks of me except for the people who matter. And that's my teammate, the head of Ferrari, the team's director and technical director. Jacques Villeneuve came off the grid 10th, and he's moved up to 8th place.
No sign of his teammate. Howard Howell friends on is even worse, that they're having an awful time. They had a slightly changed car for this weekend. I think they expected greater things. Remember, their engine is 30 horsepower down on the Ferraris and, of course, on the McLarens, but then so are the Benettons, because they're running the same Renault Mechachrome engines. Let's just watch the start again.
Now watch Schumacher, the red car. He does not get a good start here.
He actually got far too much wheel spin, and just look at there. Eddie Irvine had a dynamic start there from the 3rd row. He's zapping up, and of course across goes the Benetton to try and block him out. But Eddie zips through down the inside, down the middle, because he had more momentum. But look at Mika Häkkinen streaking away.
And Barrichello, the white car on the outside.
Yes, he had a bit of a clear run, a very lovely run round the outside of Alexander Birch. Oops! Not such a nice run, perhaps. Here's a shot from the back. Somebody did go off the road. We didn't see that.
2 cars.
So yeah, there's Frenzen. We wondered where he went to, and that's where he went to. He went off the track. I wonder if he kept the engine going.
Yes, he's rejoined. He's well back in 20th position.
Oh, he's having an awful time. I'm sure, you know, when you get this far in for a change of the nose on the Brenson car, changing the nose, a lot of dirt, sand all over the place. They're adjusting the wing a little bit there as it goes on, and off he goes.
You know, there aren't many race cars that two mechanics can lift up from the front end to replace the nose.
Well, that's not good for poor old Williams. It's amazing they can go from doom to gloom just like that. It's really, 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 really bad for poor old Frank Williams. He's at this race. He wasn't at the Imola race a couple of weeks ago, but he must be wondering just where they're going wrong. But, you know, they have lost Adrian Newey, and Adrian has gone to McLaren. It does make a big dent in the team when your top designer goes, plus the fact they just haven't got it together in any department.
Pedro Denitz is going again. Electrical problems for Denitz on his arrows, but he is running. Eddie Irvine trying to hold back the Benetton and his teammate Michael Schumacher. Not the first time this season that Eddie has run ahead of Michael.
Well, of course, the problem here is they've got these very long corners, as we talked about earlier. Puts a lot of wear on that outside right tire. Outside left tire, I apologize. But you see, the problem is, as they go through these corners, there's a lot of turbulence. And when they get too close, you get an unstabilizing to the car behind, and you cannot get close. Therefore, you cannot actually go by anything because you can't get close enough to actually sort of slingshot as you do in IndyCar and NASCAR. And this is the main problem on a circuit with these long, fast corners. And so, of course, Fisichella can't really get that close to Eddie, and Michael can't get very close to Fisichella. Remember, Michael actually got close to Williams this morning in warm-up and flew off the road just to prove the point. So look at Häkkinen's lead over David Coulthard. I don't think David's conserving his position. David Coulthard wants more than anything to win this race because he knows that if you can start to prove that you're the best man in the team, I don't care what you say, they'll start to load up a little bit more effort into that one car or that one driver.
We see entering some of the corners, Derek, that washboard you talked about when we took a lap around it, that although it's a very abrasive circuit, it's mostly quite smooth, but it looks like some of the heavy braking zones have gotten really kind of rough here.
Yes, it's a strange thing. They're not bumps. Here we go. Let's watch the start again. Look at Eddie coming down the inside. Absolutely superb. He actually got held up a little bit down there as he goes through beside Fisichella, but no, Michael just manages to squeeze in front of Wirtz. Lucky for Michael he did. And of course, remember, Fisichella is now out very wide, but he's holding his line because the next one's a right-hander, and of course held his way through